You are now tuned in to the From Earth podcast with your host, Julius From Earth. Check us out on any of the major digital streaming platforms or on our website at FromEarthPodcast.buzzsprout.com. And as always, thank you for tapping in. All right, here we go. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Episode 70 of the From Earth podcast, fellas. We are in the building.
Yeah.
So how you feeling?
LeBron in 6.
LeBron in 6. All right, let me intro the pod. What's going on, everybody? This is your host, Julius From Earth, with the From Earth podcast. This is episode 70. I'm here with the homie Esoteric.
What's going on?
And with B. Davis.
What's happening?
And before I get too far in, I just want to remind all the listeners, all the YouTube viewers, this is the last episode of this season.
Yeah.
We are going to take a 1 to 2 week, possibly, break so that we can reconfigure.
Yeah.
And get our bearings straight with some things that we got coming up. So just a reminder to everybody, in the interim, go back and stream some of the previous episodes.
Yeah. We
got a whole bunch of fire content. I guarantee you will not be disappointed. I'm talking specifically to the YouTube crowd. I know you don't really have access in the video realm to all of our earlier stuff, but if you hit up the website, FromEarthPodcast.buzzsprout.com, you have access to all of the previous episodes audio-wise, and I would actually encourage you to go back and listen because we had a whole lot of fire content.
Yeah.
So, do I have any more housekeeping things before we get started with our topics for the evening?
Is episode 4 on there?
One again? Come again?
Episode 4, is that on there?
You're an a-hole, bro.
I guess not. That's the hot episode. We need that one.
I hate you so much.
That's all right.
We got to come out with like the lost tapes.
We do.
Maybe
We'll put that one on NFT. That's what we're gonna do.
Yeah. Maybe we'll do that.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do that. I'll bring back episode 4
for the culture
for a price. that'll go behind the paywall. That'll go behind the paywall.
Legendary.
All right. It's International Women's Day.
Yes.
International Women's Day.
Yes.
I definitely wasn't going to let this day go by without shouting out the women, shouting out the important women in our lives. I want to say just a little, I love my mom type of thing.
Shout out to your mother?
Yeah. Shout out to my mom, yo.
Wow. What is happening today?
I have no idea. Shout out to Ma Dukes, yo. Shout out to Ma Dukes.
Let's talk about why Julius hates all the other women.
I don't hate women. This is International Women's Day, so I'm shouting out all the women, all the beautiful, impactful women out there.
Facts.
Those out there that are...
Just the beautiful ones?
All of them. I said all, bro. All. Y'all trying to trip me up for whatever reason.
You did say all beautiful and impactful.
Well, I meant that they're all beautiful. Is what I was implying. That's what I was trying to say. They're all beautiful.
You right.
You feel me?
Yeah.
So I'm shouting out all the women, bro. Can y'all want to kick in here, like pitch in at all?
Nah, go ahead. You
got nothing, huh? It's just me.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
shout out to the women.
When we come back from hiatus, we'll talk about why B. Davis and SO hate all women.
Apparently Julius hates the ugly women, but that's okay.
There's no such thing as an ugly woman.
Oh God. All right.
You got something you need to say?
Yeah.
You got something you need to get off your chest?
You're not going to trap me into this today. That's what you're not going to do, bro.
Listen, they can
the end of season 3.
Episode.
It's the end of season 3. Yeah. It's episode 7. You're not trapping me into this today.
Listen, I mean, I'm making factual statements, and I'm being met with a whole bunch of smirks and So the beatbox, you feel me?
Is everything okay, man?
Everything's cool.
Everything's good.
But all right. So
shout out all the women tonight at Broad.
Shout out. Shout out to all the women. International Women's Day, yo. If you're a woman, I don't care how you got there. If you're a woman, shout out to you.
What? What is that?
Listen, man. I don't want to leave anybody out. I don't know how this goes anymore. I don't know how it goes.
Oh, yeah.
Yo, this is water. I swear it's water.
That Julius from Earth.
I didn't even say anything.
Man.
I didn't even say anything controversial, man.
Bro,
Controversial.
you're the worst, bro.
Oh man. All right, no, but really, here's one. Here's one specific shout out.
Yeah.
The artist Maya. Y'all remember Maya?
Oh my goodness.
Yes. Most famously known to me for the Best of Me remix.
Best of Me, yeah, with Jay-Z.
With Jay-Z.
Yeah.
She shout out to Maya, yo.
Absolutely.
Shout out to Maya. She's still doing it.
Yeah.
And stays out of the limelight. Like, I can't really tell you what her discography is, but
Her last album's kind of fire, bro.
was it?
Yeah.
Oh no, then go stream her album, buy her album, and
Facts.
listen. I don't have anything negative to say. I wanted to say that because, I mean, she's fire. So
Yeah.
that's really what that comes from.
That we can agree on.
We could agree on that.
Oh, we're good. We agree.
Yeah.
But you already shout out to beautiful women, so
Yeah, so she was included in that. She was included in that,
shout out
right?
to Whoopi Goldberg.
Yo, shout out to Whoopi Goldberg, yo.
Yo, Whoopi keeps it a buck, man.
For real. Facts.
Whoopi, and Whoopi been in this game for a long time.
She's been in this game for years.
Yeah, bro.
Shout out to Maxine Walters,
There you go.
Hey, let's do it.
There you go.
Stacey Abrams.
Yes.
See, now we're getting into it, bro.
Yes.
He had to get lathered up a little bit.
He did. He did.
You know?
Just trying to cover your edges.
We got to move on from this.
All right.
Y'all getting us canceled.
That's all right.
All right, Biden is supposed to be signing a crypto executive order.
Oh,
Yeah.
I saw that today, and that kind of ties into.
fill me in on that.
So that kind of ties into a little bit of what we were talking about last week about how with the war going on between Russia and Ukraine,
Yeah.
and I was asking specifically how this is going to affect cryptocurrency on a global scale. And so this executive order, and I know you're probably checking it out, SO, but this is something that I think is being put in place as kind of like a preemptive measure.
Okay.
I don't know all the details 100%, but I saw it did tumble down my feed. So I figured it was important just to throw that out there because it ties into what we were talking about last week with the importance of cryptocurrency, how it's right now it's what we say unregulated.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if this is a step in that direction to try to, I don't know, to be honest. But interesting. When you pull up those notes, you can fill me in. But what's your thought process? Why do you think that would be important, depending on what it is?
Well, they got to start looking at this crypto thing as far as when you're mentioning sanctions and things like these of foreign countries, right? And then you start to think, well, how can people evade those sanctions? And you start looking towards the crypto community and saying, okay, how can we bring this under the umbrella of the regular financial system? I think this is probably the start to how, like they've mentioned before that they didn't want to necessarily use Bitcoin as a reserve coin in itself, but didn't rule out other digital currencies as reserve coins, right? So that's really no different than how we all use debit cards now anyway. Like, who carries cash? So if you think about it, we're already really using digital money. Like, I don't see my paycheck, right? It goes into my account, which is just a database ledger of the bank, and allegedly it's there. I could go to the bank and pull it out, right? So they tell me. But when was the last time I actually had to do that?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So what's the difference between that and whatever their government regulated digital currency is going to be? Now, in regards to strictly Bitcoin, right? I think the market cap of Bitcoin is way too small for a country like Russia to try to use Bitcoin to fund its entire operations. I don't think they have enough, right? But then even going through the exchanges and things like that, Coinbase or Binance or whatever, those exchanges are regulated in this country, right? So there's already some regulation that's going on, and I don't think regular people really understand that those are regulated, but if you want to get away from that, then you're talking about going your own hardware wallets. You're talking about moving money peer to peer. You're talking about other avenues of trying to store your crypto and then, convert it into USD or another fiat currency or something like that, out of the country, and then trying to repatriate it somehow, something like that. But right now we're not there to the point where that's doable.
You understand how many people B just lost with that explanation? He lost everybody with that.
But I understand everything.
Was that too much? My bad.
Well, here's we'll make it trying to layman's terms in this. For one, I'm kind of curious how they can regulate something that is technically non-existent. You can't touch it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There's nothing tangible about this. This is more or less based on the perception of value, right? More or less.
But that's pretty much the dollar anyway.
Yeah, but
right?
You can still touch a dollar. Whether that dollar is worth, $1 or less, you still have something physically tangible to touch.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The dollar is backed by reserves. In this case, gold?
Allegedly
backed by gold. But what is this going to be based on with crypto? Allegedly backed on what? The fact that we're just putting regulations trying to pretty much monetize in some aspects,
right.
This money. And, whether Russia has or doesn't have, response to what's going on with their sanctions and things of that nature. I mean, like you said, Russia doesn't have that many Bitcoin to even worry about what they're trying to do with it, let alone even be able to move it, because now everything's being tracked anyway through the wallet. Well, not through the wallets, but, they're not Swift anymore, so they can't even do any international.
So an interesting thing about that, though, Coinbase said they blocked some 25,000 wallets that were linked to Russians that might have been sanctioned.
Okay, so now the oligarchs that they were blocking?
Yeah.
Okay, because I did hear about that.
Yep.
So
and that's what I mean about the regulation, right? Like they can because blockchain's a ledger, right? It's an open public ledger,
right?
So they can look and see who has what wallet apparently and where it's going, and say, okay, well, we're gonna do something with these particular wallets,
right.
But again, that's because it's regulated, and that's not what Bitcoin was envisioned to be when we first started, right? So.
I mean, it was created just for those reasons. It's unregulated money.
Right, to be unregulated and decentralized. But if everybody's going through, Coinbase or something like that, that's now centralized.
Right.
You know what I mean? So.
Yeah. Well, nonetheless interesting. Basically, for the people who understand, like me, read on the third grade level.
So what you're saying is the SEC.
have your people shoot you a couple Cash App coins.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then lay low for a bit.
Focus on stable coins.
Shout out to the beautiful women.
Shout out to all women on International Women's Day.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so next topic.
Because we lost.
Google.
The Googles?
Google is buying a cybersecurity company. What is it? Mandiant?
Oh, shit. Are they really?
Yeah. For all cash. All cash deal, $5.4 billion.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
$5.4 billion cybersecurity company.
Nice.
And every time I see stuff like that, it just makes my ears perk up.
Because it's 5.4 billion?
Because it's 5.4 billion.
Yeah.
That's a large number.
Yeah.
For cybersecurity.
Yeah. It's about time they start taking this serious.
Well, clearly, right?
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but recently I've been getting a whole lot more just scamming attempts. I don't know if you track through your credit, what is it, the credit review stuff or whatever. It tells you that your info,
the LifeLock and things like that.
Yeah, man, your info has been captured on the dark web.
Yeah.
Login security threats and everything like that.
It's funny though, we're so concerned about security, right? But we've got people out there who can literally shut off power grids. You don't think they can access my social security card or a social security number just because they want to?
Yeah.
We're supposed to have some of the best fighting against this, and they still lose.
Yeah.
So I don't think a $5.4 billion purchase is going to make a difference.
Well, I think the importance of it is what it means, right? Because last week,
false sense of security.
Well, last week we were just talking about how we are the commodity, and the data points on each person and how we're being targeted by all these companies and corporations for advertisements and to consume.
Yeah.
Right? And then coupled with, like I said, just kind of like all of the increased security threats on our personal information, it's kind of nice to see a corporation as large as Google, as wide as Google, as involved as Google, take cybersecurity to be somewhat serious.
I don't think it's that deep for them, bro.
Okay. All right.
Here's what I think. I don't disagree with anything you just said.
No. Right? Fill me in, bro.
But what my first thoughts on this are, obviously you have an iPhone, I have an iPhone, right? We know that Apple made some changes to how security on the iPhone works as far as ad tracking in the last operating system release that they had, right?
Sorry, Facebook.
Exactly. So if you think about how much money that's costing Facebook, imagine what that's costing Google, right? Imagine what type of information they're now not able to get. So now I think they are looking at security as this is another angle that we can use to monetize and make money from. And so now we're going to go out here and buy ourselves a firm that does this and try to figure out how to recoup some revenue.
Okay.
That's to me, that's what this is.
That's probably what it is. It's a it's a smokescreen, bro. It's really what it is.
Yeah.
I mean,
Gotta tell us why you hate big business.
I hate big business. It is. I mean, look, they do this all the time. It should not take Google this long to act like they have to increase security when privacy is a big thing. If they really want to increase security and privacy, shut cookies off.
Right. But that's their business model, though.
No, I know.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
I get it. But that's what I'm saying. Like, you want to increase my security, stop tracking me.
Right. Absolutely.
You don't need to spend money to act like I'm secure now when you can stop tracking me.
Right.
So
and that's really what they want, right? They want to funnel all your information directly to Google, so Google can sell it to everyone else, rather than everyone else just being able to have at your information. You know what I mean? They're going to get it, and now they can decide who and where it goes.
It's like you following me and then buying up all the gas stations around me because you're spending so much money.
Yeah.
Following me on the road.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen, these gas prices are looking real rollerblade-ish out there right now.
Real horse and carriage-ish, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
do y'all want to share a ride Uber tomorrow?
For real.
Facts, bro.
For real,
Facts. Speaking of which, that convoy in D.C., I know I'm getting way off topic.
No, keep going.
But is that still happening? Like the
You're talking about the
truckers?
trucker?
Yeah,
The trucker
that was out there. They dumbasses on the Beltway talking about we're going to slow traffic down as people who've clearly never been on the Beltway.
I don't know. I don't know if it's happening. I wasn't really following it, so
It's amazing to me, right? How a lot of stuff. So, obviously there's a lot of sanctions on Russia. Russian money is not moving as fluidly as it was, prior to the last 2 weeks or so, right?
Right.
And so when you see things like this trucker convoy just kind of fizzle, the hype around it, the media advertisement of it, you know what I'm saying? The social media engagement around it, you start to wonder how much of this was related. You know what I'm saying? Like my feed, my social media feed has seen a lot less conservative view over the last week and a half or so.
Oh, your feed has?
Yeah. A lot less conservative view has been in my feed over the last week and a half, as far as, who's trending, what topics are trending, what accounts that I'm seeing getting reposted all over the place. I'm seeing a lot of things that I'm seeing a lot less of that stuff.
That's probably because you keep following all these BBL, so...
Hey, listen.
I'm sure that's what your feed looks like now.
Shout out to the beautiful women. You understand what I'm saying? But I'm seeing a lot less of that stuff, right? And I'm just wondering if who's funding these things? Like if you're telling me truck drivers are going to take a week out of their time to drive aimlessly across the country just to drive around in circles on the Beltway and not get paid, who is funding that, bro?
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Backstory, if I was to get a semi truck loaded up and send it cross country to LA, it would cost me somewhere between $3,500 $4,000. You understand what I'm saying? That's how much they would make. You know, obviously they got to pay for their gas and stuff out of that, but that's what they would make for their time to do that. So these guys have stopped driving for like the last week or so.
What is the reason for this protest?
The vaccine mandates or some shit. Like I don't even know what they're protesting at this point.
I'm serious. Like I'm really trying to
place.
find out like what was the premise? What was the original
Al
premise?
Gore's internet.
So this started. Obviously, they did this in Canada, right? When they were protesting vaccine mandates in Canada, and then they decided to do it here in the U.S. as well. But like all the mandates and stuff, like we're going maskless.
Yeah.
Like you know what I'm saying? Everybody's saying we can drop the mask now. So what are they doing? I don't know. I need somebody to explain this to me.
Listen,
I need one of these Russian Republicans to explain this.
Russian Republicans
and tell me what the hell is going on.
Man,
Yeah, I mean they're clearly funded by the Russians, bro. Clearly.
Is that what this is?
Clearly.
Is that's the direct connection?
Wow.
Yes.
Truck drivers, the unions are getting touched by. Wow.
All right.
But while we're on this,
Let's go.
aside from the truckers,
Yeah.
why are we, not we, but collectively as a world at this point, trying to impose so many sanctions on a country that does not care, and yet it's affecting more of the people than is the country you're trying to hurt?
Oh, they care.
Who cares? Russia?
Russia absolutely cares,
No,
bro.
they don't.
We locked up at least a good 50% of their money.
No. This is going to hurt me, you, and everybody else who's listening out there more than it will hurt Russia, because Russia, let's not say Russia, Putin doesn't care. Putin is still out for what he's going. We're sending supplies to the Ukraine. We're doing all these types of things to try and help them defend themselves.
Right.
But what if he's playing long game? He can say, listen, your country's hurting just as much. For everything you keep doing for us, it is equally affecting each of us sitting here at this table.
So I think that's kind of the question and the strategy, right? Is if he's playing the long game, the question then becomes how long can he afford to play the long game?
Well, he's calling bluff at this point. I mean, not in that essence, but just more or less like you know.
Well, for the
Who's going to fold first?
Yeah.
for the listeners and for the viewers, give us an example of how this directly affects us.
Well, for one, gas prices. You know what I mean? But not so much here in our country. I mean, we're a little bit more sustainable when it comes to energy, but the European countries are not. I mean, we go back to, again, Germany's just prime example. It's 70% of theirs is from Russia. So right now, the sustainability in Europe, considering Russia supplied about 40% of that energy resource, is not being touched.
But that's why they didn't ban Russian oil imports over there yet.
Well, not yet, but it's coming to those points where now, I mean, hell, we had Exxon, I think it was, or
Shell?
Shell, thank you.
Yeah.
You read about that. I mean, recently, apologizing for
Yeah, they got their come up real quick.
You know,
Yeah.
oh, let me get that.
Oh,
real
my
cheap,
bad.
Let me get that real cheap barrel right quick.
Yeah,
and then
bro.
apologize for it after. I mean,
Yep.
This just goes to show, like, these companies out there are going to do it, apologize for it later, but it just makes business sense to do it.
Of course. And that's why we rolled out some of these sanctions the way we did, bro. Because we recognize that we can't shut off the economy of the world. You know what I mean? I mean that's essentially what was about to happen. Like if we had just dropped the hammer on day one. Like we couldn't do that. We couldn't say, you know what, Europe, you can't take Russian oil and gas anymore. It would throw OPEC into a tizzy.
Absolutely.
We'd be looking at $10 a gallon gas right now.
Not that far.
Just based off speculation and shit alone. You know what I mean? I mean the fact that our supply hasn't really changed or dried up and the prices are up as much as they are is just a fact of speculation and the oil company saying, well, we can go out here and get this money, so we about to go get it.
Yeah, we can gouge.
This is the same thing I was talking about with food and things like that in the stores. When we talked about that a month ago or so, and I said this is just companies raising prices because they can, not because of supply and demand or anything like that. They just see a way to get a buck, so they go in and get a buck. But as far as to what Rob was talking about before, as far as being able to sustain this, so some of the things that I've seen out there is that Russia had like a $630 billion war chest built up, right? And with these sanctions, we pretty much put a clamp on about 50% of that money, right? And then some other things that I've been seeing is that the estimates are it's costing them upwards of $20 billion a day to fund this war. So if we clamped up about 300 billion and it's costing them 20 billion a day, how long is it going to take them to run through that other 330 billion? You see what I'm saying? Like that's why I'm asking.
But
like,
it's a scary game because we're playing with resource and finance, and like I said, this we talked about earlier.
Yeah,
this is the new war.
Sure.
You know what I mean, this is how things are done now. It's done more on an economic stasis. It's done more on the resource. You know what I'm saying? Like this is it's almost primitive in its way.
Yeah.
As opposed to dealing with tanks and all these types of things. I mean, obviously Ukraine's trying to defend themselves, but as far as how everybody else is fighting them, it's still technically an act of war. It's just a different kind of war.
Well, this is how we fight Russia all the time, though, right? It's proxy war.
Yeah.
Like this is what we've been doing with them for the last 50 years.
Yeah.
Now things are just escalating. But essentially, I mean, when was the last time a U.S. soldier had to go hand-to-hand combat with a Russian soldier?
Not since Cold.
That's my point.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've been locked in entanglements.
I mean, I don't know. I've seen a couple movies.
Yeah, Rocky 4. Like, you know what I mean? Like, nah, we just been locked in a few entanglements. Shout out to August Alsina.
Nah, not doing that. Nope, we're not even going there. We're not touching that subject.
Play the clip.
Shout out.
All right, 2 minutes on what sports?
Why?
Okay.
Sportsy. What's sports season? Oh, basketball still. Yes.
All right, no, we don't have to. What you got? What's on your docket?
Let's do some sports.
2 minutes on sports. Let's go. What y'all want to talk about?
All right, so Russell Wilson
Trash.
being traded to the Denver Broncos.
Yep.
Which means Sierra is being traded to Colorado. I don't know
that's the real headline.
Yeah,
right?
that's the real headline.
Seattle traded Sierra down to Colorado.
Yeah, and
that's really what happened.
CC sells $4.5 billion home.
Yeah, right. So I'm curious how that's going to affect the Wilson household.
Man.
What's Future think?
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, did anybody get him? Did anybody ask him his opinion?
Yo, on International Women's Day, this is what we're going to do.
You brought it up.
On International Women's Day. So there's that, right? And then there's Aaron Rodgers allegedly getting a 4-year, $200 million contract extension with the Green Bay Packers, with $153 million of that being guaranteed.
Overpaid.
Which would make that the largest paid NFL contract in history.
Ridiculous.
So we talked about that a little off mic. We don't have to get in depth with it, but like I said, it was 2 minutes on sports.
Actually, I do want to say something about that.
Okay.
LeBron in 6.
Thank you.
There we go.
Thank you for your contribution.
Seen LeBron drop 56 the other night, right?
I'm gonna send this nigga back to Miami, bro. What is this? One week removed, and we're back to the BS. No. I'm just joking.
Caught me after work. Sober.
Any season 3 highlights that you guys can think of?
This is a long season.
It was a long season.
Well, actually, it wasn't. This is 5 episodes under what we
But there were
do.
a lot of breaks.
Yeah. This was a trying.
We internally there were some moments.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Internally
True.
there were
Facts,
some moments,
facts.
bro.
But I mean, we're on YouTube now, right? So
Yeah.
that is new to season 3.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So
we got
made
some
some transitions.
consistent content up on YouTube.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'll spend a little bit of time talking to other people out there who do watch and or listen to the podcast.
Yeah.
To spend a little bit of a time just encouraging any and all content creators. If you're going to do this and you're going to do it consistently, you got to block out the outside noise. You cannot allow people to negatively influence or impact the reasoning for you starting a podcast or starting a video cast or any of those things, because there's plenty of detractors out there. There's plenty of people out there who are going to speak negatively about such an up-and-coming arena,
Facts,
such as podcasting. because it's not all women bashing and it's not all alpha male talking and it's not all that nonsense. You know, as you can see, you got 3 educated black men on this platform who spend our time weekly discussing things of substance. Obviously, you know, we do joke and we make statements throughout, and that's just to kind of keep things hopping. But whatever your reason and your purpose is for doing it, take it seriously, because I take it serious.
Facts.
And I want everybody to understand that this, even when we talk about, even when I'm advertising, you know, elsewhere, and people are like, "Oh, you got a podcast? I ain't trying to hear it." And I'm like, listen, I can't stress enough how your opinion of what I do does not matter to me.
Facts, yo.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm not saying your opinion doesn't matter at all, but to me, it is not going to stop me from building what we're building, which is a perfect segue into, which is why we're taking this break, and so that we can have a new season with new, fresh ideas.
Yeah.
And new topics, and we want to make sure that we continue to grow and expand this thing, right?
Yeah.
And I talk to these 2 dudes, B and SO, weekly about their own personal brand and expanding and growing that thing. And I think it's important for anybody who does this to know that this is one element of one of the things that you do. It doesn't necessarily have to be your whole entire identity.
Facts, yo.
You feel me?
There's just so many people out there that get mad at podcasters.
Well, they do it because
why?
because podcasting is an easy target, right? Because it's low cost to get into. It's a low cost industry to get into.
Yeah.
It doesn't take a whole lot of, to be honest, and these probably are some legit reasons for maybe coming at so many people doing it. It doesn't take a whole lot of high intellect to get started with it.
Yeah.
Which is why you see podcasters and stuff kind of like start out. They'll give you a few episodes and then it will fizzle out.
Right.
It'll go away.
Right.
Because number one, maybe they didn't have the vision,
right,
or the passion,
or
the drive. All the things that you need in order to start anything.
Facts, yo.
You know?
Facts.
And so it's important for people to understand that I am separating myself. We are separating ourselves from the other ones that don't take it as serious.
Yeah. This is a commitment, yo.
It is a commitment.
Like, this is a commitment. Like, I'm going to keep it a buck. We're 70 episodes in, bro.
Absolutely.
Yeah, bro.
We're 70 episodes in. Like, we didn't just come here and give y'all 2-3 weeks of some jokes, some ha-has, you know what I'm saying? And bounce out and say a bunch of inflammatory shit. Like, this is us week in and week out, like, really talking about what we about to do.
Fact. And we could, because we are toxic as shit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Saying, like,
absolutely. I'm not fit for public consumption.
what?
You
We
know
are
what I
not
mean?
role models.
And yet this dude done put me in front of a camera for the last like 15 weeks.
They don't understand the struggle that it took to get you to commit to doing this and posting this to YouTube.
Yeah, man,
bro.
alcohol. I was like, all right.
Yo, I'm telling you, it took. Listen, there was a lot of hookers and blow.
Yes.
Yeah, which are due.
Which are due.
Which are due. Okay.
Facts.
But nah, all jokes aside, man, this is definitely a commitment, and I hope that it comes through when other people are listening.
Yeah.
Right. Because there are always new and bigger things that I'm thinking of.
Right.
And I say this off mic a lot, and I'll say it now, that you guys help keep me grounded. You guys help keep me sane. Doing this as much of a goal and a dream and a vision, it really is therapeutic.
Absolutely. I feel the same way, bro.
You feel me?
Yeah.
And so I appreciate the fact that you guys show up every week and that we get notes and that we have a rhythm and everything like that.
Yeah.
But I also appreciate you guys helping me stay focused on the goal and pushing this thing forward.
Sure.
Because this isn't it, right? This is the end of season 3, episode 70. But what is to come is even greater.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to it.
See, this is why I would never go work for Joe Budden, because you give accolades. This is exactly why.
Well, there's definitely a different personality, right? And I've been told that one of my greatest gifts and my biggest curses is that I'm very, very passive, and I'm not super stern. And so,
You don't have to be. That's
depending
what
on
your
what
brother's
side of the coin you fall on, you might feel like,
That's what that nigga's for.
yeah, right. You might feel I can be a bit of a
That's probably
pushover.
facts, yo. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was about to say, good thing I'm the exact opposite. Yeah.
But no, I do want to, shout out to everybody who's ever put any type of effort into what we've done with the From Earth podcast to get us to this point. People that have made it along the way and maybe haven't, we've made some steps and whatnot.
We need to shout out the haters. We talked about that last week.
Well, before we get to the haters, let me finish.
I was about to say, this man is giving you an audio love letter to the
we need to get the
people
love letter
right
to
now.
people who hate us too, because they are real big direct.
This is the toxic shit that we was just talking
It's
about.
very
This
toxic.
is exactly what it is.
It is very toxic.
We was just having a moment of positivity
Right.
and shit.
You know what
and
this is
here you
called?
come.
This is what we call it: balance.
Jesus Christ, bro.
Balance. Let's talk about the balance.
Let's talk about the balance.
Do we have? I mean, I don't know.
There
man.
are-
I don't-
there
I
were-
don't pay attention to haters, bro. Like,
No, well, that's my thing, right? So I'll get to the haters too.
Yeah.
But let me finish this. We've had plenty of people come on this platform and contribute. And individually, I just want to tell each and every one of them thank you for your contribution
absolutely.
to, the From Earth podcast, from the people on mic to the behind the scenes to the ideas to the merchandising items and to the logos. And there's so many people. There's so many people to thank, and I don't want to say names because I don't want to get anybody caught up. But I just want to, take this moment to say I appreciate each and every one of you for your contribution to the From Earth podcast.
That's facts, yo.
And now on to the haters, right?
Oh, shit. Here we go.
And now on to the haters.
Yeah.
We see y'all too. And I hope that you're watching this episode, and I hope that you're listening, and I want you to know that your hate fuels me. All right? It's one of those things that when I know that you've listened to 30 plus minutes of an episode just to point out one thing that you're like, oh, I hate you for that, or you're so stupid or whatever. And I'm like, thank you for listening to 30 plus minutes of the episode.
Facts.
Because you were intently listening.
Engaged.
You were engaged.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I mean?
Tuned in.
And
love to see it.
And if you've seen an advertisement come down your feed, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, IG, and that was the motivation you had to send me a little note to let me know that I suck.
Yeah.
I appreciate you too.
Facts.
All right. Because listen, you took the time out. Whatever I did got under your skin so much.
Stopped in your tracks.
That you had to come to my page.
I almost responded on that one too. I was like, is he going to say something? Because if he ain't going to say something, I'm going to.
You had to come to the page. You had to come to the inbox.
Yeah.
You had to make your hate known.
Yeah.
And we all know that haters are really just truly fans in disguise.
That's all it is.
We know that that's what it is.
See, I've been trying to be zen. You know what I'm saying? I've really been trying to be a more positive, wholesome person, and so I haven't been paying attention to these things. But it's getting warm out.
It's getting warm out.
And that's good enough. And that's, as 50 Cent said, that's a good enough reason.
Yeah, that's it. You know what I'm saying?
It's hot. That's a good enough reason.
You know what I'm saying? It's good enough. Yeah, you absolutely right, bro. It's getting warm out.
Yeah.
So yeah, go ahead, man.
Yeah.
Season 4 might be angry.
Oh, season 4 definitely will be.
I feel like season 4 might be an angry
It definitely
season.
will, because we're obviously going to keep coming with this kind of content too. But we have other people who really want to contribute. Other people who are like, we like what you do, and we want to bring you here. We want to do this.
Yeah.
So just understand, like, if you hated us, like Cat Williams said, if we got 14 haters now, we're figuring out how to get to 16 haters by the end of the summer.
Facts.
That's a goal too.
Yeah.
So understand.
Rack it up.
Yeah, understand. I'm taking it all in. I'm taking it all in.
I love it.
You feel me?
I love it.
All right. This is a shorter episode tonight. SO, anything else you want to add?
Nah, man, I'm good for now. I'll think of something real
You want
quick.
to start calling out names?
Yeah. Shout out to the moms out there.
Yeah. Shout out to the moms.
The moms on Nationals Women's Day.
Yeah. Shout out to the moms. Shout out to the non-moms. You know what I mean? You can be a woman and not be a mom. Shout out to you too.
True.
B.
Are y'all done tiptoeing around this?
Let's go.
You know what I'm saying? Happy International Women's Day. That's it. That's done. Like that's all you had to say.
Yeah, I did say that.
Y'all trying to figure out how to accommodate everybody
I'm
under
not
this
trying to-
large umbrella of womanness.
There's no umbrella. It's either you are a woman or you're not a woman, right?
See, I
Does
tried.
Caitlyn Jenner get thrown in that?
God damn it! All right, y'all.
There it is.
Yep.
We're doing so well.
We were.
But
Toxic.
yeah. So
Fucking J.K. Rowling ass motherfucker over there. Jesus Christ.
hey yo, episode 70 of the From Earth podcast. We appreciate all the listeners, all the watchers, all the viewers. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, drop us a note, hit us in the inbox with podcast related stuff. All right.
Yeah, don't send your nudes anymore.
Yeah, we're not trying to see them. All right.
I care less about that.
We can be
business.
That's not what we're here for.
I just turn my notifications off. It was easy.
Yeah, that's not what we're here for. All right.
Or forward them to your watch.
Send them all to B Davis Project.
B. Davis Project.
I don't want that shit.
He loves his Tuesdays.
He loves his
I
Tuesdays.
don't want none of that.
All right, fellas, we're done. We're out.
Yeah.
Episode 70 is in the books. Like I said, go back, check out the previous episodes for all those out there who are going to miss us for the next few weeks. We'll be back. All right, and we'll let you know. From Earth Podcast, this is Julius from Earth signing out. Peace.